Major headline tonight involving Syria and word that the U.S. is now ready to arm the rebels, convinced that President Assad used chemical weapons against his own people. Tonight, our team tackling the big questions here. Just what kind of weapons are we giving? Who are we giving them to? And what does this mean for America after the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan? Is Syria now next? We have team coverage tonight, beginning with ABC's Alex Marquardt on the Syrian border. He leads us off.
It has not been an even fight. For over 2 years, President Assad's army inflicting untold death and destruction, pounding away with tanks and heavy artillery, while the rebels respond with mortars and rocket-propelled grenades. The regime's jets streak across the sky as the rebels try to take them down with weapons they've stolen. Some rebel groups are well equipped, while many are desperate for ammunition and resort to homemade weapons like this giant slingshot. We've seen the sparse rebel arsenals firsthand. The regime has tanks, planes, helicopters, and you just have AK-47s and RPGs. How can you defeat them in Aleppo? We have God Almighty, he said, who is fighting with us. America now says it will send weapons to the rebels, small arms, not the rockets needed to take out tanks or planes. Tonight, we met a top rebel leader who says that's not enough. The weapons won't be good enough for us to win, he said. I'm afraid they'll just make the war go on longer. The Obama administration has been hesitant to offer bigger weapons, knowing how disorganized these rebel forces are and recognizing that some of the strongest elements among them have sworn allegiance to al-Qaeda, the fear being that some of these American weapons could easily fall into the wrong hands. David?
One of the major concerns tonight, Alex Marquardt there on the Syrian border. And I want to bring in ABC's senior foreign affairs correspondent, Martha Raddatz, tonight. And Martha, we were all talking earlier about fears across this country that this could be a slippery slope, that this could be another war we're now headed into.
Well, the White House has said emphatically no boots on the ground in Syria, but I do think many Americans worry about that slippery slope. We were at war in Iraq for nearly 10 years, although we were told it would be over in no time, and we are still in Afghanistan after nearly 12 years. We have learned lessons from those conflicts, and no one likes to see such horrible, horrible slaughter in Syria, but there are many military officers I have spoken to who are concerned about the goal in Syria with the small arms, and even more concerned, David, about what happens next if they don't do any good.